Hi, this is Miss Rachel here with the Kindergarten Readiness activity. These videos are meant to guide caregivers in how to work with their children to help them develop the skills necessary to be ready for kindergarten. So we are going to be working on small motor development today using items around the house and yard. You will need some crayons with the paper peeled off. So I have a tripod crayon at three-sided, paper, and then things like leaves, coins, tree bark, whatever. Coins are really helpful because then they can start to identify which coin's which. I just grabbed a couple things off my desk. And we're going to be making rubbings of them. So you're going to place the item underneath on the table and then place your paper on top. So the child's going to put one of their hands on the paper to hold it in place, and then the other one they're going to press through the middle and rub so that they can start to get the texture. And this is really going to help them with fine motor skills because they have to use their small muscles, which is fine motor, in order to press the crayon hard enough to get a picture. And the crayon is giving them feedback. So this is part of their proprioceptive senses, which is like knowing where their body is in space, and it includes the idea of pressure. So crayons give like a resistive force, which makes it better than like markers for like practicing drawing because they get physical feedback. And then when they press the crayon down, they can see whether they're hitting it hard enough or not. And they can either press harder or lighter, which helps their small motor muscles. Our goal for coloring is to develop the pre-writing skills and handwriting foundations. So before they write, they have to know how to hold a crayon or a pencil or whatever and be able to color with it and move it around. And then they can do more fine motor, like controlling straight lines and drawing letters. The supporting muscles and movement patterns for pencil control require the following: functional forearm position, so where your arm is, wrist stability and extension, moving your wrist, separation of the two sides of the hand with stability on the little finger side of the hand, so they have to be able to move their fingers, the ability to move the thumb, index, and middle fingers independently from the hand instead of moving the whole hand, finger strength in order to grip the pen and be able to move it around, and stamina to keep on holding it. So this is like when you're writing and your hand gets tired, those are those muscles. The ability to move objects around within the hand, so picking things up and moving them around. The ability to rest the forearm and hands on the table while writing, so coordinating that whole movement. So using both hands together in a coordinated manner is called bilateral coordination, and it's a skill needed for handwriting, scissor use, and many other functional tasks for children. When coloring, a child needs to hold the paper as they color, so always have their hand on it. They can practice holding it. Otherwise, you see a lot of times when they're younger and they just move the paper around with the crayon. This is what we're trying to prevent. Using the assistive non-dominant hand as a stabilizer allows the child to build strength and dexterity in their dominant hands. So they learn with their finger muscles here. And this skill will carry over to writing tasks and makes coloring a great activity for kids who are switching hands in activities. So I would start with like larger, maybe a little bit larger crayon than this if they're really young. And the tripod part of this, other than just not rolling off the table, it allows them to put their thumb, index finger, and middle finger in the right spaces to practice holding things right. So the more you practice coloring with children, especially with crayons, and especially trying things like texture and different vocabulary, the better their handwriting skills are going to be. So we'll see you next time for Kindergarten Readiness.